All right, so let's get right into it. If you want to turn off or on channels to one bus, you just go ahead and press mix on a bus, press and hold the assign key, and then press mix on the channels you want to turn off or on for that bus. Same goes for the pre-post functionality. You press and hold pre, and then you can switch channels pre or post to the aux that you pressed mix on. That's pretty much all there is to it for this type of workflow. You can, of course, do it the other way around. So you can press mix on a channel. That way you could turn several buses on or off for one channel. And you just press and hold assign again and then press mix on several buses, and you can dial them on or off for this channel one by one. Again, analog workflow for pre or post. You can set the buses one by one to pre or post for this one channel. What you can also do is turn all channels at once on or off for one bus. To do that, you would just press mix on a bus and then hold the assign button and press mix on the same bus again. And that way you would turn all channels off, all 128 channels at once off. And if you press again, you will turn them on. If you have certain channels turned on and certain channels already turned off for that bus, the console will turn all channels off first before turning all on. Again, same goes for the pre-post functionality. You hold the pre button and then you press select on the bus, and that way you turn all channels into pre-fader mode for that bus, and if you press again you turn all channels in the post-fader mode for that bus. The assign button also works in conjunction with the main left-right bus, but only one way, which is press mix on the main left-right, which will be your main mixing layer anyways, and then you press and hold assign and you can turn those channels or buses on and off for the main bus. The assign button has two more functions. One function would be to assign channels to a DCA. The workflow is very similar. You just press mix on a DCA. Important to note is that you have a DCA spill turned off to do that. If you turn DCA spill on, the surface will just spill out the channels that are already in the DCA. And in this mode, the pre and assign buttons work just like you would be on a normal layer. So you can turn channels on or off for the master bus in example. It's important that it works that way, so you can use those DCA spills to pull channels to the surface that would otherwise be buried somewhere or not even on the surface at all. So that's why. If you turn DCA spill off though, you can press mix as I said, and then you can hold the assign button and just throw those 4 channels that already were in this DCA out of the DCA in example. If I press DCA spill now, you can see there's nothing in it. If I just put the channels 1 and 2 into the DCA, you can see nothing happened, because I'm stupid. So now they are in there. You have to press mix on the DCA first, obviously. So that's that. And the last functionality is actually about the assign key up here. in the talkback section. They are labeled exactly the same, but they do different things. That's important to know. If you press assign up here, you can see it brings up a screen where you can select buses to go to the talkback, the active talkback group that you are in, or you can dial them out of it. But you can also do this on a hardware level, so you can just press mix on aux 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see them pop up on the screen. This can be very handy. An example, if you want to check monitors or something like that, you could go to a talkback group that has no buses in them, and then you can just step through on a hardware level, aux 1, check, aux 2, check, etc., etc. Which is much quicker than to fumble around on the touchscreen up there. And also you can have your eyes on the stage while doing it. So that's a nice functionality right there. So last nugget of information would be that it is quite important to be aware that dLive distinguishes between pre and post fader and the actual tap point in the processing chain. They are kind of related, and you could argue that pre or post fader also is by definition two different tap points, but I will try and show you what I mean. If you go to the routing page, press select on a bus, you can see the source point in the top right corner, and you can see you have the choice between post preamp, post insert A return, post PEQ, and post delay. And this will be a global setting for all channels going to that bus. And it will be independent of the fact that channels go into that bus pre or post fader. Which is quite unusual that a digital desk can do that. That means you could set a bus to be, if I can manage to reach the screen from here, you could set the channels to go post preamp into bus number 1, but you could set that bus to be post fader. So you would take the signal like it is after the preamp, but send it post fader to aux 1. Normally on a digital desk, post fader would also mean post all the processing. So just a little heads up in that regard.